State, Senator Godswill Akpabio, a former senator himself. We keep wondering, what informed your choice of that candidate? Could he be the best among the lot?
Well, look at it this way. The way when you are doing elimination, how you can get to that. First of all, we are in support that the Senate President should come to the South. Like I said, there should be some balancing. Anybody who loves this country, who believes in the unity of this country, who believes that he wants this government to succeed, will not hesitate but to support the presidency of Senate to come to the South and the speakership to go to the North. Now let me tell you, I've said this before, except those who never wanted Aswali to be president. You know, in a fight of presidency, there are stages. We have finished election now. That stage is gone. They will also make sure he does not succeed. How does he not succeed? To set up a stumbling block for him at National Assembly. Right? Now, take for example, ordinarily this shouldn't be, but with the complex nature of Nigeria, you can't run away from it. We told you the Muslim ticket was a problem. Was a problem. Coupled with the abysmal performance of APC. Abysmal performance of the last government. It was a double jeopardy. Very strong. PDP campaigned against it. That this country can have now a president, a Muslim, a vice president, Muslim. PDP can campaign with it. And let's not tell ourselves lies. Somehow, by the president's own luck, God being on his side, and his doggedness, he was able to make it. Mind you, a lot of boo-boo traps were set for Mr. President not to emerge as a president. A lot of boo-boo traps were set, even by the people in his own party. It is correct. There's no government in this world who is a ruling government, a ruling party, can bring up policy that will make your party to be unpopular in an election period. No government. Within that period of the election, you brought the issue of data redesign. You brought the issue of there was no fuel. Two things that has to affect the masses. You will know it was a boo-boo trap set against Aswaju not to emerge. Nobody can deceive me. Nobody can deceive me that that policy was not targeted at him. But as I said, God is infinite mercy. He gives power. Man can set all kinds of traps. And God can say, look, it's not my trap. This is man's trap. Therefore, jump and pass. Jump and pass. And he jumped and passed. You know? So, now, you want to take a Senate president again from the Muslim. You want to take Speaker again from the, look, you must not be, come on, what are we talking about? Mr. President is a Muslim. The Vice President is a Muslim. The Chief Judge is a Muslim. You want the Senate President to be a Muslim? What would you tell anybody? You have to be careful. It's only those who don't want the unity of this country can even have that kind of proposal. If you really love this country, for this country to be united, for this country to be indivisible, live and let live.
Well, some people also argue that if you flip the coin,
yes,
the president is from the south, the chief justice from the south.
I'm coming. Don't rush. Okay. I'm coming.
Okay.
I have seen that argument, which holds no water. But I'm coming to that. If you do that, what signal are you giving out? You are trying to, from the beginning, to frustrate his administration. Because already, there has been an accusation that why he went to pick a Muslim was to run a Muslim agenda, Islam agenda, which is not correct. And he's trying to balance this thing now, so he would, Nigerians will not see all these accusations or rumors by lazy politicians. And he said, look, if you want this country to be where it is balancing, give hope here. Give hope here. Let it not look as if we are running a religious government. And if anybody loves his administration, if anybody wants him to succeed, if anybody wants the unity of this country, you won't think twice to know that yes, the way it is now, the speakership is not. You want the state president to go to north. You can't say that. We must tell ourselves the simple truth. Now, when people say that, oh, how can he go to south? That's a Bangladesh. Rubbish argument. How? Buhari was there. Senate President was where? Speaker was where? CJ was not Tanko. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Okay, if you remove CJ, who was already there, it's not by election or by appointment. It was by his own position as the most senior. And we cannot come out now and say, back. Let us believe that all of us are one. Had to go to the north, and that's Akwara produced the chairman of governors forum. And then the vice, being the opposition now, PDP, had to come to south, being Sheyi. Now, Tambawa leaving office at the chairman of governors forum, who is from the north. The chairman of governors forum now ought to come to the south.
That's the PDP governor.
Yes, ought to come from the south. Now, and that was the people, when you do a manipulation, you are happy you have manipulated, but you don't know the consequences of it tomorrow. When people begin to talk about those consequences, you say, oh, he's doing anti-party. What is the anti-party? Look at what you did. Impunity. The chairman of government forum of PDP ought to come to the south. Tambawa hasn't finished. Now they went there, manipulated the system, and gave it to Bala, my friend. I have no problem with my friend. But in you, this thing you did, was it right? Was it what I've been doing? And they know if I was a governor, that wouldn't have happened. Let the entire heaven come down. For Christ's sake, what is wrong in people standing by the truth? Speaking of the truth. You have manipulated that. And I know where they're heading to. And they know it won't work.
They made rivers.
Oh, well, for Christ's sake, for Christ's sake. We are talking about serious matters. You don't bring about it. Who doesn't know what they're playing? What's that? I was there. I never said no police. We know what they did. We just, see, you can't play everybody all the time. But let the world hear. When the crisis comes up tomorrow now, you say, oh, if they are doing agenda thing, you are the one setting crisis. We thought of what has happened to us in the last election, of impunity, of thinking you have the number. You went and did what you did. You saw the percussion. Now you have again, instead of setting the tone for reconciliation, showing that, look, we are all one. We continue to do our things the way we are doing it. You refuse. To you, you have won. You are happy. But again, having won, be happy. What will be the impact? Will people be committed? Will people be committed to that? Some people may not speak up. But how are you going to drive them to be committed in your party affair? They won't. They will dig darling. They will dig darling. You mean of all this that happened to us, people can't take a lesson from this? That impunity is still there. You see how you started? So what we are trying to say here, it's not about religion or water, but Nigeria is a complex country. And everybody saw what happened in the last election. That you can now see how people came out. Those who are supporting this now are still the same people. I hear some PDP so-called leaders I said nobody should impose. But they forgot when they were in government. They were the one putting Senate president from all the Igbo, all the Southeast states. They were the ones. Now you are trying to bring somebody who is working with you to make sure this mass administration fails. Why do you do that? To the detriment of Nigerians. Why can't we know that? At the end of every look, Father is the president of Nigeria, and I believe in 4 years. It's what you want, Mr. President. I think this is fine. Allow him. Let us see where the excuses will come from. When there's no smooth relationship but the leadership of the National Assembly and the presidency, you can't have a very good administration. Now, check it, it has happened severally. Yeah. You remember when Saraki was there was no good relationship between the leadership and the presidency. It was a problem. It was a big problem. And that affected the administration.
So you're saying that if, let's say, Senator Akpabio gets to be Speaker of the Senate, President of the Senate, yeah, there will be a good relationship with the President?
So what I was saying here, first of all, you have created that there's hope. You have given these people from this side sign that, look, we are not excluding anybody. You have created that, look, it's not about religious thing, balancing the various segments. That's what I'm trying to say. And two, I'm coming. And two, saying that the president is also in support, right, of Abadi. Saying that if the president was not in support, or is not in support, then that's a different issue. But having seen that, look, the president is support. If he's coming to the south, by their rules, they come to south side. It's the most senior. Ordinarily, if that rule was not there, probably, people might go to Oshomole. Probably. But by their rules, you must be a ranking senator.
The
so,
question,
first,
if I may come here,
yes,
the question then is, this rubber stamp stigma that has been on the National Assembly throughout the last administration, if it goes the way of the president and his team, picking the president of the Senate, nominating someone for the president and someone for the speaker, wouldn't that rubber stamp situation still remain?
Look, let me tell you what's called rubber stamping. In the Congress of America, the Trump does say it must be so person. There were negotiations and negotiations and negotiations and negotiations. But that's not the point. What is called rubber stamping? What is called rubber stamping? So, if Mr. President brings something that's wrong, and as a Senate President, I will take a knife and put on the neck of every senator. Let us stop this. When people don't want to do what they're supposed to do, when people are given responsibilities and cannot live up to their responsibilities, you say, Robert, Lawan, did you not say anything that Buhari brings, he will approve it? Anything. He did not qualify it now. Even the last minute, approval, even 4 days to go. But that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making, our democracy has not grown to that level, to that extent, where you say that we know party influence. No, party must have influence. Party must have influence. I mean, you didn't run on as an independent candidate. You never ran. Party gave you ticket. There's nowhere in the choice of leadership position that a party does not make input. No democracy.
Your Excellency, is it just about Senator Godswill Akpabio being a ranking member of the Senate, or are there more? Is there more to it than just?
I have
made up your mind to support his.
No. Look at it. Look at it. First of all, what I've said is this: if they say the Senate President is coming to the South, Southwest is ruled out, and you have Southeast and South. Now they begin to who of the zones? I said it has never worked well in the Southeast. Ku Kantaku. Today is Wabara. The other day is this person. The next 24 hours is like that. They have had up to 6-7 Senate presidents. And in the South side, you have not had only late Joseph Wires. So when you do by elimination, then the next president is Southside. Who of the senators? I have a ranking senator, but he's a PDP member. He can't go and contest for the leadership. Democrats said it is the ruling party that produced the leadership. If it was not so, I would have also told my senator, who's the ranking, to go and let us contest it. But it is the ruling party, it's not in the ruling party. Right? In Cross River State, the senator there, the ranking person there, is in PDP, Senator Jaribe. In Edo, there's nobody ranking. In Abia, the ranking are PDP members. In Delta, there's no ranking. So you see. So the only person that's in the ruling party in the South, that's ranking now, is Akpabio. That's the point I'm making here. So, so you can go to Shubole. I told you here, if that their convention or rule was not there, probably, people would have gone to Oshimole. Why? Maybe even true. There are also problems around that. And again, looking at that, the party and the presidency, or the president, appears to have a soft spot for Akpabio. I would have thought, look, allow this administration to start in a very good foundation. So nobody gives us excuses. That why this administration couldn't start in a good footing? Because of the rancor in the National Assembly. between the executive and the legislature. And that time, because of what excuses again are we giving? Who are going to suffer? You will come up on sunrise and begin to analyze. You will come up on AIT Kagaki and begin to say this. But that is the truth. Now we should be able to tell Nigerians, let us solve one problem. Why do we start from this land? Who is telling you is the imposition? Who is telling you that? Who is telling you that anybody is supposed to? This is the language they use. If I say, I have a soft spot for you, I'm only appealing for you to see reasons. Apart from even that, look at the problem we have in Nigeria. You can't allow the senior president to go this way. It will cause a lot of crash. That's the point I'm making. Leave theory and face reality. I ask you here, were you not aware that that ticket, modeling ticket, was an issue in this country? That to the point that the opposition parties, like my own party, used it for campaign, that Nigeria is not ripe for now to have presidency and vice presidency to be one religion. Even though people like us never, but I would say, well, I think the strategy mainly is maybe he has weighed that he's likely to win if he does that. And let me win first, and then balance up things. And that's what I saw.
Right. We'll wait for the next list and see if you make that next list and when the authentic list finally comes.
Yeah, but still talking. Yes, yeah. but still talking about the National Assembly, because the dynamics in the House of Representatives is a little different from the Senate. Now, we see that the ruling party has about 177 members, which is the single ruling party, but the others, all the opposition come together, have more numbers than the ruling party.
Who are the opposition?
The PDP, the NMP.
Which are the factions of PDP?
Yes.
you know, nobody there can tell my state where to vote. You know that. What will he tell us to vote? Why will he tell us? Did you send the logistics for election money or for election to us?
So you are also going to support the candidate backed by the APC?
Of course, it's not about who we are going to. We know. They are unaware. Who will give me the directive? Who will give them? Is it those that wanted them to fail the election in our state? Is it those that never bothered whether they are running an election? No 10 kobo was given as a party to support their candidates. They abandoned them. Now how can you now come and direct them? No. Everybody has where he gets his own support. So when you are counting that, then you're not being realistic. Two, you think that Sheyi will support them from Oyo? No. You think that all of our people we have another say will support them? No. So if that is the number you are counting, you're making a big mistake.
You're referring to the G5, is that it?
Not only G5, we have integrity group.
Okay.
We have integrity group. Look, G5 are governors, but in the group we have integrity group. People like Jang are members, Olabode George are members, Donald Duke are members, Mimiko are members, Fire Show are members, Jerry Kennedy are members.
Yeah, but they don't have members.
It is not correct.
Okay.
It can be 2, it can be 3.
That they can influence.
Of course. Jerry Gada's son, did you know who the House of Reps?
Your Excellency, you're
in Plateau, do you know what happened? In Edo, do you know what happened? So, see, I've told you. See, this game is not the way you see it. See a permutation now. It has come to that. That's their own number. Who told you everybody in Labour Party will support where the president candidate? Who told you that? You will just sit to one place. Listen. How many of them gave body to those who emerged in Labour Party? Some of them emerged accidentally. So you don't think that, because you're a presidential candidate.
So they have a mind of their own?
Of course. You mean that like our state is now, what we suffered, what we passed through, the conspiracy against us, and we're able to survive it? and then you say somewhere that you are what? To direct River State. How can you do that?
Your Excellency, we would have thought that now that elections are over and then we're looking at addressing the issues of the new government, that the peace would have been restored in the People's Democratic Party. But from your tone, Your Excellency, it seems that seems to be very...
Look at how you look at people who want to make peace. You started with the impunity life. What's supposed to come to start? You have taken it again. So who is the one making peace or who is the one making trouble now? Is it you that said, look, what you are doing is not good? Are you the one making trouble? I have taken it to the... Look at it. You have conscience. This thing you did, is it right? Is it how we have been doing it? It's not when you take, as you finish, this person will take. It's not what we have been doing. How come now you've done it again? I mean, I don't understand us.
Is there a future for the PDP?
It is those who are doing what they should tell us. We want the future of the party. That's why we are saying the right thing should be done. You see, everybody will be happy. People will come and say, look, now we are seeing signs that are trying to put ourselves together.
Your Excellency,
let us work towards that.
Is there a future for the PDP?
I have told you here. Listen, your parents sent you to school because they want you to have a future. Right? It's not even to go to the school. You start going outside to smoke Indian hemp and this and that and that. What future are you setting for yourself? Your parents have sent you believing that they are building future for yourself, for you. And instead of you to enter the classroom, every time you're outside smoking, are you building future for yourself?
That's a future under the bridge.
Under the bridge. Now, I have said, look, we have a problem. And this problem was not resolved. You remember, if you watch that program, when Sheyi said, listen, let us tell ourselves the simple truth. We had problems, and we were unable to resolve those problems, and that affected our election. Now he's happy that the governors are here. That shows that we are willing, right, to start. And look at, those are people too. You know what somebody said? Didn't you know what he said? Governor Sheyi should show that reconciliation by coming to the tribunal. What has Sheyi going to tribunal to do? So when Sheyi goes there, the judges will look at Sheyi has come, and then they will win. I mean, look, we're talking about something serious. A governor stood up to say this, and somebody stood up to start, I don't know, to start that reconciliation. You have to come to, look at how you reduce, I mean, you trivialize issues. A governor stood up to say, I'm happy that our governors are here today. We must tell ourselves the simple truth. We had issues. We were unable to resolve those issues. But now we have come. I think the first step to telling Nigerians we really want to put ourselves together. Instead of you to applaud that or to back him up, you said, let the governor, if it's really serious, let them go to tribunal. It's it to them. Them going to the tribunal is making them to win the case. Going to do the job of lawyers. They interpret the documents by themselves. You have lawyers. Allow them to do their work.
But something also happened this last week.
Yes.
The Benue State High Court,
Yes.
the judgment delivered by the Chief Judge of that state,
Yes.
affirmed
Yes.
the suspension and expulsion of
Yes.
the former chairman.
Yes.
So effectively, that means that position is open. Do you think that that is where the reconciliation should start from? Maybe a dissolution of the NWC for a new national work committee to be...
Sincerely, if people are sincere, no, power is something else. Power, this, the president of the NWC, are they willing? Or the item is he willing to do that? They will tell you that the matter is in court, let's finish the tribunal matters. And I'll keep on going. Those things don't bother me. For me, when we shouted that the right thing must be done, and which would have not led us to where we are, go and check how was the election won and lost? Go and check. Go and check how was the election won and lost. It will tell you clearly. Clearly, you see, all those PDP leaders from the southeast who got their seat like this and make noise, they couldn't give their president candidate up to 10%. Not one. He said, oh, Obi was on election. Obi was on election, that way cannot get to 5%. But what has Obi on election got to do with you having 25%? Look at in the South. What happened? They didn't get 25%. Cross River, they didn't get 25%. River, they didn't get 25%. Are these not called PDP states? Are these not called? So what happened in Cross River State? I won't tell you what is the strategy. PDP came third. Look at what happened in Edo State. PDP came third. Look at what happened here. PDP came third. Look at what happened in Benue State. PDP came third. Look at what happened in Plateau. PDP came third.
If the needful is done, will you be willing to come back to the party?
Am I not in the party? The governor is the leader of my party is the governor. All National Assembly PDP. All House of PDP.
You just talked about factionalization.
No, that is the point I'm making. Yes, if we are not doing the right thing, some people say, okay, do what you're doing. We are doing what we're doing. Anytime we are ready to, I say we are willing. But the point of saying, you have shown the wrong signal again. Just now, you showed the wrong signal. I was telling you what happened in Bauchi, that I thought would have been used as a platform to sincerely let Nigerians know, yes, we have had our abuses, we are ready to make amends. And with that way, people say, well, it's a good step, it's a good direction. Yes, let's follow up. I'll see how it works out. But instead of you to do, you hit the hard one.
What role would you play? What role would you play in ensuring that your party, PDP, comes back the way it was?
The role I'm playing, look at the role I played. Making sure my party took over the state. It's a PDP state. If I didn't want, I would have gone to sleep and let my party fail. If the party fails here, what relevant are we again? It's not true. So, me that have done that, by giving us 3 senators, by giving us 12 National Assembly, by giving us 32 over 32 House of Assembly, and those who couldn't even get one, what role do they have to play in the party? I'm the one. We are the ones that have what it takes now to make PDP more relevant. That's what we're trying to say. And I said, look, do the right thing. We are ready to follow. But don't do the wrong thing intentionally and then come to tell me, hey, it has happened. That is one language I don't like. You stay openly and rob somebody. And then you come back to tell me, it has happened. That's very insulting. Very, very insulting.
Your Excellency, your party, one of the things that your party has always talked about is power to the people, right?
Yes.
But right now, the people of Nigeria may not be too happy with your party and the ruling party, so to speak. The subsidy is gone, and the impact of it is spreading like wildfire.
What do you mean by power to the people? That they remove subsidy means that the power is not.
Well, the people will tell you that their purchasing power, for instance, is no longer there. It's dwindling by the day, by the second. So let's discuss this subsidy matter, for instance, now. Yes, subsidy is being removed. So what should government be doing?
Look, you see, that's the problem I have with Nigerians. What's happened in the discussion? Why did Labour now suspend the strike? Are you telling me that simply because, are you not aware that this is a scrap, this is horrible? You spend ₦1 trillion every month. The money that should have been used for other purposes. If we are talking about palliative, for example, I thought what the NLC and TVC, in the first place, NLC made a mistake. Coming out to adopt a candidate first. By adopting a candidate, you cannot now come and say, speak. No, you can't do that. It's like there's conflict. You may be right, but the position where you are standing has made it to be conflicted. But let us even leave that. What I thought, and which is what they are doing now. Every governor, everybody has, we have been shouting that this subsidy should be removed. It's not today. Starting from Jonathan's time, and when he talked about it, they wanted to shut down the whole country. Yes. But the reality is that this is a real scam. Calculate how much. If you work out with government in terms of palliatives, this money that we are spending every month, for example, if we divert it, if we use it for that purpose, what are the purposes? To cushion the effect or the hardship on the people. But again, I don't want to believe that the only masses, when Labour talks about masses, is only civil servants. I don't want to believe that. And that's the mistake they're making. Labour can't speak for me. Labour can't speak for those who are not working. Labour only speaks for their civil servants, for their members, with all due respect. Yes. Yes. There are a lot of people who are suffering, who don't have work. So why can't this money be used to provide employment? Why can't this money be used to do other things? Must everything be civil servant, civil servant? You mean a country as we are spending such humongous amount of money every month as subsidy? I can't. Nigerians would like to dance to the gallery. Sometimes when I watch what people say on newspapers, on television, I just laugh. I said, come on. Are you people, I'm not saying you, but you don't like media to be attacked. Part of the problem is the wrong message you send out to the public. When some of us, when we sit down to hear what you send out to the public, I said, please turn off this.
All right. But still on that issue, beyond the issue of increasing worker salary, because like you said, only those who are civil servants will benefit. If you are advising the government...
Look, infrastructure is supposed to be grown. Infrastructure is supposed to be developed. You have to reduce the issue of, for example, sit down with Labour in terms of transportation. What do we do to cushion the effect so that the hardship does not get to a level where it is difficult for other people to even pay for transport. So government can come and look. See that. How do we provide transportation for the public? These are things that can be worked out. How do we develop this infrastructure that's lacking? Seriously. If Nigeria, take for example, if Mr. President, look, this 1 trillion, for example, we can't spend this 1 trillion. Can we take, for example, 200, 300 billion, for example, from that 1 trillion? Every month you are putting infrastructure in this country. Sincerely. Not just for the sake of talking. Nobody will see the money. I'm talking about sincerely to build the infrastructure, the roads. Where we are today. Not just saying we have put in this money, nobody sees it. It's just like, for example, when I hear anchor brewers, and Central Bank will tell us they spend 360-something billion for anchor brewer rice. Where is the food? Where is the rice? Even when you find, they say it's very expensive. And nobody sits down to actually say, hey, come on. You guys spend 300 billion for rice production in Nigeria. Hi. Can I see where the rice is? You see, I believe that people who don't want this country to grow, who don't mean well for this country, are those who are instigating, putting crisis. There are those who believe that Nigeria is their own. There are some people, some of them are retired generals. They sit in their houses and think to control everybody. They will direct you what to do. If you don't do this, you become an enemy. And when you resist it, they say you're not a humble and loyal person. What is humility? What is loyalty? When people are crying. It's like you see me here today when I was governor. I see there are no roads in Port Harcourt, no development, no infrastructure. And then you will tell me somebody say he put me. I shouldn't do those roads. I mean, what kind of system is that? What kind of system is that? And that is what we have been having in this country. Anybody who can take decision in this country, nobody wants him. Nobody wants him. All they want, somebody whom they will call, come to see me so prisoner. You run down there. You want to take something, a step that will move the country forward, they sabotage it. And that's what is going on now. That is what is going. Those who believe that Asuwaju is strong, is firm. Hey, look at this guy. If we allow this guy, we may not breathe very well here. So people sit down in their houses to do that. So let us stop him from now. And how do we stop him? Make him have a problem in National Assembly. It's part of crisis for you. It has always happened.
All right. So let's say we have time for just maybe some short questions, which will also require short answers from you. Okay. Maybe one question. Okay. Miriam, do you want to have your first question?
Yes, I want to have the first shot, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Excellency, as reporters will go out to do stories and then you get to a blocked drainage and then you're interviewing the people and they tell you, we want government to help us clear the gutters. They want government to do everything for them. Now, from your own side, what would you expect that Nigerians should also do to help this government to succeed?
I have told you that I've never seen people who like everything free. Look, you create refuse. Government say, put the refuse here. Can you pay 10 naira? And we carrying this refuse? No, cannot do that. Why? It's free. Okay. Don't even you pay. But help me, take the refuse and come and take it. They look left, they look right. Nobody. You point there. Somebody is selling corn on the road. He will peel the corn. Then he will take it and fill the drainage. Now, one of these days, I was passing. I just stopped. I was a governor then. I said, come on, pack all of them. See, this is the road. This is LNG. The way I did this road. How can you do this here now? How can you do this? Oh, now here where they find what we go chop. I no talk so make you not find what you go chop. Because if now you find something, now you make it go that everywhere. He said, oh, God, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do them again. I said, okay, leave them. I used another car. I didn't go with Serene, nothing. I go there. I went there. How about madam? How about madam? What in be this? Nigeria is a very difficult place. Look, it is not easy. But that is not an excuse why governments must not live up to expectation. We should also know the limits of government. It is not an easy thing. So for me, it's continue to appeal to understand that, look, this is only in terms of health, other diseases that emanate because of this. And then flooding. Because when you have blocked all the drainages, then there'll be flood. Then when they are flooded, you start shouting. Government is not doing anything. Who caused that flood?
All right, Netta, are you ready for your question? Oh, I should take your slot. Okay, my own slot will be, in most of the states now, the new governors, particularly where we have no governors, are really under very heavy debt. Some have tons and tons of uncompleted from their predecessors. In the case of Rivers, it's not so as far as in terms of debt, we really whether Governor Sim Fubara has a heavy burden of it. Really under very heavy debt. Some have tons and tons of uncompleted projects that have been passed on to them from their predecessor. In the case of Rivers, it's not so as far as projects are concerned, but in terms of debt, we really don't know whether Governor Sim Fubara has a heavy burden on him.
He cannot have a heavy burden. He was accountant general. He knew where we were. He knew. See, the truth must be told. I wonder every time when they said debt management office, they publish list of the states. I wonder. I called the what do you call them? The DG, is it, I don't know what they call them, it's not the John Director, I don't know. I said, why are people getting this debt? Is that, I don't know whether they say military those days. I said, look, for me, as former governor, who presided over this state for 8 years, I am not owing any bank a dime. The only money, let me tell you, Access Bank and Zenith Bank are the only two banks we use. We don't use any other bank. So let me check anywhere. The only thing was that the money Federal Bank gave us a bill and which they deduct from the federation account. Whereas loan from commercial banks, what we are owing as I was living, 3.something billion. And that they collect it monthly. Every month they collect from our IGL about 900 to 1 billion naira. So zero debt. It is not, that's why it is difficult. It is difficult for any bank. Let them publish that Rivers State government is owing Bank A this. Rivers State government is owing Bank B. So we're on a very stable note, very stable ground, very stable. That's why. I want you to sit down there without talking to anybody and just say, oh yes. I'm not, look. I'm not begging for, when people take.
Yes, you've taken my time.
No,
the other question I asked.
That's your time.
Hold on. We are not in objective.
Yes or no?
Yes. No. I have to explain to you how it is done. You don't go say, will it take or not?
Okay.
What kind of question is that?
Right.
At my level, I should ask you, you want to give, I will take. Okay. No, circumstances will tell you. Okay. So you never can tell. But respect the man.
So Mike will answer the last question.
From the latest engagement of organized labor with government, they are demanding for 200,000 naira minimum wage. I wonder what you see as realistic when it comes to minimum wage.
You can sit anywhere and ask anything. Where will you get the money from? There are certain problems you must, first of all. Labor, what have they done to making sure our production quota is 2 million per day? What have you done? Where will you get the money from? First of all, solve certain problems. When you solve that problem, then you are getting the revenue. Then based on the revenue you are getting, you can ask anything. Now that things are stabilized, now that things are like this, we think this should be the minimum wage. The minimum contribution as a civil servant should contribute. Yes, you see, this attitude. Look, I was a minister And what I found out in the ministry was rubbish in terms of budgeting. How could anybody, 2 million, how can 2 million build a dining for you? You don't have a library. And I said, listen, this cannot be the pattern again. The pattern is choose 3 key projects for this year. These 3 projects, you finish them this year. So stop putting this 10 million, 2 million. Put like 100 million in this project. Put so that you know that is the requirement. As you finish this, next year, you take up other projects. This attitude of, and again, the part of the problem is National Assembly. And they know, because the way the budgeting is done, you cannot achieve anything.
Your Excellency, we really have to go. Because we let you, there's still so much to talk about.
Well,
and hopefully we'll come back and have this conversation again. But I want to thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, Chief Nyesom Wike,
thank you
for
very
speaking with us. And it's been a fantastic time. I do hope that the viewers out there and those who are coming into power will draw a lot of lessons from what you've done. I mean, from local government to state to federal, back to state, and now you're going into retirement. We wish you a restful period.
I wish all of that retirement.
We wish you a restful period, your retirement, until whenever you're called up again to come and serve the nation. Thank you so much. And on behalf of myself and my colleagues from NTA and Madam Miriam, from AIT, Abule Bagbenga, and from TVC, Mr. Okwoche, I want to say thank you so much for letting us be a part of your day, and bye-bye. I'm Neo Taigwe.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Every morning is an opportunity to take your hustle to the next level. Every morning is one day closer to your ambition. So, make every morning count. Cup after cup, morning after morning. Start strong, finish strong. Nescafe.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
With total submission and gratitude to God for a life well spent, we announce the transition to glory of Mr. Tolu Ogunkoya, whose sad event occurred on the 25th of April, 2023. Burial events are as follows. Service of songs comes up at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, the Sanctuary, Tom Allen Center, Stratford, London. Date Tuesday, the 6th of June, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. Funeral service takes place at Green Acres, Epping Forest, Kiln Road, North Weald, Bassett, Essex, United Kingdom on Wednesday, the 7th of June, 2023 at 11 a.m. There will be a night of tributes on Tuesday, the 13th of June, 2023 at Sheba Center, 20 Mobolaji, Bank Anthony Way by FCMB at 5 p.m. This will be followed by a commendation service on Thursday, the 15th of June, 2023 at the Chapel of Christ, The Light, IPM Road, Alausa at 10 a.m. He is survived by wife, children, brothers, uncles, aunts, and cousins.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello and thanks for joining us on TVC Midday News. We begin with the story that the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress have suspended the planned nationwide strike over fuel subsidy removal. This was part of the resolutions reached at a meeting between organized labour and the federal government at the presidential villa on Monday night. The unions also agreed to continue the ongoing engagements with the federal government and secure closure on the resolutions reached, some of which include the establishment of a joint committee to review the proposal of any wage increase and establish a framework and timeliness for implementation. There is also a plan to review the World Bank Finance Cash Transfer Scheme and propose inclusion of low-income earners in the program. They also resolved to revive the CNG conversion programs earlier agreed with labor centers in 2021 and work out detailed implementation and timing. The labor centers and the federal government will now meet on the 19th of June to agree on an implementation framework. The Speaker of the House of Representatives and newly appointed Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, disclosed the outcome of the meeting to State House correspondents.
The federal government, the TVC and the NLC to revive the CNG conversion program earlier agreed with labor sectors in 2021 and worked out detailed implementation and timing. 4, the labor centers and the federal government to review issues hindering effective delivery in the education sector and propose solutions for implementation. 5, the labor centers and the federal government to review and establish the framework for completion of the rehabilitation of the nation's refineries. 6, the federal government is to provide a framework for the maintenance of roads and expansion of rail networks across the country.
Able to put some agreements together, and the document is what was just read to you a few minutes ago. And we from Labour, all we want to encourage government is to take this seriously, because this government is just coming. This may be the first agreement that is being signed by this government that was inaugurated on May 29 by President Tinubu's administration. So I want us to commit to get these issues resolved as soon as possible.
And now some legal practitioners have welcomed talks between the federal government and organized labor over the removal of fuel subsidy. They expressed their views at an event to herald plans for their annual Law Week program. We have details in this report.
TVC News spoke with some lawyers about their expectations on talks between the Tinubu administration and the Trade Union Congress following the controversies and impact of the fuel subsidy removal. They believe truth and objectivity will help douse the tensions.
Now we passed the petroleum industry bill, which is now the Act. Part of what it addresses is that you are going to discard the prior arrangement of monopoly, where an NPC alone brings fuel into the country. Now you have a regime that says, look, it's going to be an open market, a deregulated market, but the challenge now is that we've been used to what we call a subsidy regime. If government is not putting subsidy, what it means is that the landing cost of fuel will determine the price.
This is a path that we should have taken years ago, sincerely. And it's unfortunate that it's happening now. And we are getting this reaction. But then, people are pained. People are pained. And they are not willing to talk. They are not willing to dialogue. And that is the Nigeria that we find ourselves now.
So we have to sit down and talk about it. We cannot say the government is wrong. We cannot say Labour is wrong. Everybody is feeling it. The government is not happy. The government that left, government is transient. You are supposed to go on with whatever you met on ground. But what this present government made is not palatable, and they have to kickstart from there.
Plans are also in top gear for the NBA Keja's Law Week program. This year's theme is centered around the need for lawyers to earn wealth and keep fit amidst present-day challenges.
If I'm not earning well and I can't render pro bono service, because I'm not even able to run those things. But if I'm earning well, I can then stand on behalf of members of society, the underprivileged, the indigent ones who cannot help themselves. But I must start from my own side. So when that happens, you also see that it's easier to attract many more people to the profession.
We've had cases of our members who slump in court. We've had cases, sincerely, of our members who come here and, they suddenly lost their memory. So that's the reason the committee are saying look, this year, let's start telling lawyers, you have to take care of yourself. As you are helping others to solve their problem, you have to try to solve your own problem too.
The 8-day program starting on June the 9th will also address contemporary issues that will reposition members of the legal profession for nation building. Kemi Foladeyemo, TVC News, Lagos.
And still on industrial matters, workers in the maritime sector have embarked on an industrial action following the expiration of the ultimatum issued to management of the shipping sector in the country. Senior correspondent Sharon Nyesom has details.
Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria has commenced an indefinite strike as it directed members to shut down operations of shipping companies at the country's port. The union made the decision over disputes with shipping companies regarding lack of decent work, poor pay and welfare of employees.
We have no other choice than to take our destiny in our hands. If we don't do this, I am very sure that all the workers who have retired and worked hard to come back into the system wouldn't have been doing that if we had done this earlier than today.
We have been having a series of meetings with them, but they were just dribbling us. But we're hoping that today they will see that we're really serious. And that with that, they will call us for a meeting. Already they have invited us for a meeting. And we're believing that today's meeting will be fruitful.
President General of the Union, Adewale Adeyonju, during the picketing exercise announced that since 2018, organized labor had been engaging shipping companies on minimum standards to operate in the country to no avail.
With the terminal operators, they have been calling us so that we can sit down with them and get this matter resolved. But our stand is that give us what we want, let there be minimum standard in shipping. Somebody going on retirement, pay him what belongs to him, not just pay somebody and ask him to go and die at home, who have contributed immensely to the growth of that same company. So that is the stand of the union.
I met with a retiree, Samuel Ajoko, who served at the shipping sector for more than 26 years as a manifest officer. He says his retirement benefits was abysmal and current pension is only 26,600 naira.
Where you work is where you eat, even after retirement. That is what I believe. So not after retirement is like somebody is dumped to go and die. So I want them to give them better condition. And remember us, if there's anything they can do in order to keep us moving, because if not our own contribution, the company will not move on up to today, because our own contribution help other people to come and other people continue to come.
The leadership of the union hopes the management will sign a collective bargaining agreement that will be competitive to industry standard so workers can return to work. Sharon Nyesom, TVC News.
A former Minister of Aviation, Stella Odua, has told the federal court sitting in Abuja that she is in talks with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over the 7.6 billion naira fraud charge against her. The intention is to reach a plea bargain deal with the commission and avoid going to trial. Celestina Area tells us more.
This will be the 7th time arraignment of the former Minister of Aviation will be adjourned. Although today's proceedings were for the arraignment of the defendants, counsels to the first to 9th defendants prayed the court to adjourn proceedings pending the outcome of an application before the EFCC. They informed the court of their application to the EFCC for an out-of-court settlement, and they are expecting a response from the commission. Counsel to 2 companies that are also defendants in the case, James Onoja, told the court that over 95% of the money has been refunded to the government. Mr. Onoja noted that over 320 million naira have been refunded, with an outstanding 8 million naira. Counsel to the EFCC, Hassan Leman, acknowledged that the letter was written to the EFCC by one of the defendants for the matter to be compounded, but the EFCC is yet to respond to the application. He prayed the court to go ahead with the arraignment, pending when the commission attends to the application of the defendants. Although over 320 million naira has been paid, the amount in question is over 7 billion naira. Presiding Judge Justice Ian Eko held that since the primary intent is for the federal government to recover its money and payments are already being made, he will give the prosecution and the defendants a few days to hold a conference. Parties are to report back to the court on 15th of June for a report on the conference and subsequent commencement of trial. Justice Eko said in open court that he has been getting calls from a particular number concerning this case. The alleged caller is not a party in the suit but has breached his privacy. He noted that the records of court are public documents that can be accessed. He says he will be giving the said number to the security agencies for appropriate measures to be taken. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.
And the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has ordered the extradition of Chukwuemeka Onyegbula to the United States of America to face trial over allegations of wire fraud and identity theft. Justice Inyangeko gave the order while ruling on the application filed by the federal government. Judiciary correspondent Celestina Area again has details.
Mr. Onyegbula is the second Nigerian national charged with such fraud in U.S. District Court for Western Washington. He was indicted by the United States authorities for filing false claims for pandemic-related unemployment benefits in 17 states. According to the Seattle U.S. Attorney's Office, the states of Washington, Arizona, California, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Rhode Island, Texas, and 6 other states paid out a total of nearly $290,000 on claims related to the case. Additionally, the Federal Small Business Administration paid out $54,000 in COVID-19 economic disaster claims filed by Mr. Onyegbula and his conspirators. Mr. Onyegbula, who uses his name Philip Carter, was linked to at least 253 fraudulent filings for unemployment benefits. He was arrested on 5th June 2023 in Lagos. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.
To Ogun State now, where the Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal has promised fairness, equity, transparency and justice in carrying out its assignment. The chairman of the 3-man tribunal, Hamidu Kunaza, gave the assurance during the pre-hearing and inaugural sitting held at the Magistrates Court's premises in Abeokuta. TVC News' Kazim Olowe was there.
As Election Petition Tribunal resumes airing in Ogun State, stakeholders have been admonished to conduct themselves in an orderly manner, show high sense of cooperation, responsibility, and avoid any act of delay. The chairman of the tribunal, Hamidu Kunaza, made this known during the inaugural sitting of the tribunal. In their remarks, counsel to political parties and the electoral umpire expressed confidence that the tribunal will do justice to the petitions submitted before it. The petitioner, which is the People's Democratic Party, is expected to present witnesses, while the first respondent, which is the Independent Electoral Commission, will also present a witness. The All Progressives Congress is also expected to present 80 witnesses in the course of the hearing.
And as you have seen, we have lined up the witnesses we intend to call, about 120 of them, and within the next 4 weeks, we are going to fill these witnesses, including our expert witnesses. And we are very happy with the cooperation that the court has offered.
Well, people can allege anything, but he who alleges must prove. Let them come and prove. That's why we are here. And we're waiting for them to bring the evidence to support whatever they are. But then let's see. We will not judge, but we will do our best to show that what they are saying is at best a figment of their imagination.
Outside the premises of the court, a mild drama happened when different party supporters were struggling to gain entrance into the court premises, which led to an alleged assault on a PDP chieftain, Segun Sowunmi.
It was easy to explain an attack until I felt it physically, to ask myself that how does this type of madness happen here? Unfortunately, I saw the police standing by helpless, as though they don't even understand that they have a responsibility to keep the peace.
Although the tribunal sitting for the day was conducted and concluded in a peaceful and orderly manner, and parties were represented during the sitting. Kazim Olowe, TVC News, Abeokuta.
We take a break. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. To stay with us.
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa as the 5th largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mean feat. It's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to traveling far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos State government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Thank you for staying with us. A member vying for the speakership seat of the 10th House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has assured Nigerians that the parliament will not be a rubber stamp if elected. He spoke while receiving a check of 5 million naira from a non-governmental organization in support of his aspiration. Mr. Abbas, who spoke through the spokesman of the Tajuddin Abbas and Benjamin Kalu campaign train, Ikenga Gochinyere, emphasized the need for inclusion and the stability in the 10th House.
After weighing our options, we come to a conclusion to support Tajuddin Abbas and Ben Kalu. We realize that Nigeria needs unity and stability at this level. ILDC have been doing a lot of programs in sensitizing the youths and the members of the National Assembly. We are appealing to members-elect that this cause of Tajuddin Abbas and Ben Kalu, that everyone should come. Let us see that the unity of this country, we have achieved it. It's the most important thing for us to achieve.
Can you say you don't want them because they don't have good educational background or good activism background, experience? A classroom lecturer, university lecturer that founded Department of Banking and Finance and Accounting from New Bamali University to Kaduna State Polytechnic to another Kaduna State University. You cannot wave all those things aside. And then in terms of inclusion, that there's balancing that the ticket represents. If anybody does not want this ticket, then you must be coming with somebody that have more, bag filled with competence and capacity.
We turn our attention now to environmental issues. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, says his government is committed to addressing the challenge of plastic waste in the environment. Speaking at an event to commemorate the 2023 World Environment Day, the governor, who spoke through the permanent secretary of the Lagos